Happy September, Optimists. Welcome to the final month of our Optimist Centennial Year. For most of us, September marks the end of summer, the beginning of back to school, maybe football, taste of autumn in the air, and a very busy time for Optimists as we refocus on accomplishing our goals for this year and a strong start for next. Thank you for all that you've already done to make a difference to young people in your community and to each other. And as we enter the final stretch in that last month of our year, please ask yourself, has your Optimist Club completed all the goals that you set out for this year? Are there any more steps to be taken to be an honor club? Or maybe you're stretching for distinguished or centennial distinguished. If you have questions about what it takes to achieve that, please reach out to your lieutenant governor, or even to me, and we'd be happy to help. There's also still time for you to achieve the Promise Yourself Award, which looks like this, by doing just 3 simple things. Sponsor a new member, be involved in a club project, and submit your Optimist story, which could be a video or could be in writing. We'd love to hear from you. What you do makes a difference, whether to one or to many, in small ways or in large ways. As I've traveled throughout our organization, I continue to be moved and inspired by all the ways that Optimists are making a difference in their communities. And I'd like to share another story with you. About a weekend ago, I was at the Southwestern Ontario District Convention with Governor Cheryl Bolton and her team, and Lee Michaels spoke there. Lee is a beloved local radio personality who was on air for about 35 years. She's originally from Saskatchewan, and she spoke at the breakfast and shared a story. She began by holding up 2 Canadian $1 bills and asking people if they knew what they were, because that paper currency hasn't been in circulation for about 30 years. Now they use the loonie coins. So she took them back in time, went on to share a story of her childhood, and she told us that when she was 8 years old, back in 1962, her family lived in Saskatchewan. Her mom was in very bad health, and they actually weren't sure she was going to make it. And they sent her to stay with some relatives. And so she was with her aunt and uncle. And to kind of take her mind off things, her uncle decided that they should get her a bike and enter her in a local parade that was being held there in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, with her bike. So the idea was to have kind of a costume contest with this bike. So they got a bike, the kind with the banana seat and so on, which many of us may remember. It was kind of beat up, but they did a lot of work on it, decided to decorate it like a tiger. So lots of black with orange stripes and all kinds of things to make noise in the wheels and streamers. And she had ears and a tail and the whole bit. And the day of the parade came and she entered on a shoestring budget. She thought she looked great and she won. Her prize, those 2 Canadian dollars. Her uncle told her that was lucky money, and if she put it under her pillow, maybe it could bring her good luck if she made a wish. So she did that, and she wished for her mom to get better, and she did. And now, more than 50 years later, she has saved those Canadian dollars. And now you know how I like the rest of the story. So using those words from another famous radio personality, Paul Harvey, here it is. That parade and that bicycle contest that Lee won, it was sponsored by the Optimist Club of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, which had just gotten started in the community a couple years before that. They made a difference to that young girl, so profound that more than 50 years later, she told us about it, and she still has those $2 bills. Now, just the weekend before, I'd actually been in Montana with the Optimists from Alberta, Montana, Saskatchewan, and northern Wyoming, and I love how this story kind of brought things full circle. So, my Optimist friends, never doubt that what you do makes a difference, whether to one or to many, whether they tell you that day or whether you find out 50 years later. Promise yourself to make the most of the last remaining days of this Optimist year, to bring out the best for your kids, your community, and for each other. And I promise to. Thanks for all you do.